Amen. Yeah, praise the Lord. Well, I worked out on the farm for quite a few years when I was young, and I got used to being outdoors. Outdoors when it was cold. I know about cattle lowing. I know why the cattle were lowing. I know why the cattle were lowing. Cattle were lowing because Jesus was sleeping where they were supposed to eat. They wanted to go get something to eat. They didn't know what was going on that night, but they knew that God had a different plan than their everyday routine. So they were low and they were looking for food. And yet God had planned something special to go into that manger that night. It wasn't going to be straw or hay or ground corn. Well, it was the Son of God. It says that in those days a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. And this was the first registration when Quirinius was governor of Syria, and all went to be registered, each to his own town. And Joseph also went up from Galilee to the town of Nazareth, to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of Mary, David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. And while they were there, the time came for her to give birth. She gave birth to her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling cloths and laid him in a manger because there was no place for them in the inn. I remember the early mornings in the dark in the barn, milking the cow and putting the hay out for our milk cow. Sometimes we had one, sometimes we had two, and wash her off with a little bit of warm water in the bucket, and then I'd begin working, and there was the cat would be there with me. Kansas City, our cat always followed me out to the barn. She made sure there weren't too many mice playing in the hay. She always waited for just one squirt of milk that I would always shoot over at her, and then she would lick it off and follow me back as I took the pail back to the house, and then to clean the milk and put it in the refrigerator and get ready to go to work that day. You know, but in a barn, not much different than that. In the cold, Mary had nowhere other place to go that night, and yet God chose that as the perfect place. I know in our town they said that the birthing unit in our hospital was number 2 in the whole United States, and they had like a big award there. You know, if I didn't think God, I would have picked that birthing unit for my child to be born in. I'm so glad that our son was born there, our grandson was born there. But Jesus' birthing place was in that stable. They say it was dirty. It probably wasn't really clean. It might not have been terribly dirty, but it certainly wasn't award-winning anything there. We don't know that anybody was there with Mary except for Joseph. He was still a young guy. He hadn't seen a child born before. I imagine he must have been in shock. No, I was in shock just watching the doctors deliver our first son. They ushered me out about halfway through because they were worried they were going to have 2 patients to take care of if I kept staying there in the unit. I saw our child born, and it's a miracle each time a child is born. And it's a greater miracle when God's child was born there from Mary. He came as God's gift to you and to me. And he was laid in a manger because we all live such ordinary lives, don't we? There aren't any movie stars in here, and even if they were, you know what they would tell you? They would tell you that they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else. We're all just ordinary people. God found such a very ordinary way to perform one of the greatest miracles of all time. The only greater miracle was when he gave his life on that cross for you and for me. Because Jesus means he will save his people from their sins. That's what the name Jesus meant. That's what God sent the message to Joseph. He says, you'll name him Jesus because he will save his people from their sins. Because the name means Jehovah saves. Jesus came to save us. to give his life for us. So let's sing a song that's not a Christmas song, that remembers why Jesus came on that night in Bethlehem. And we'll close in prayer. We've got some newsletters. I forgot to give them last week, so I have last week's plus I've got this week for you all. So let's remember not just the manger in Bethlehem, but the cross on a hill far away. On a hill far away,